good morning, Lagos, good morning, Nigeria, and good morning to everyone already negotiating with traffic before 8 a.m. We see you, we feel you, stay strong. Welcome to Raise Breakfast, the youthful morning show where we break down the issues that actually concern young people without stress and without forming. And this morning, Lagos has given us premium gist. If you live or walk anywhere along the Lekki-Ajah axis, please fasten your seatbelt gently because Lagos State just announced something that may rearrange your entire routine. Let's just say your traffic gym membership has been renewed and nobody asked for your consent. That beloved, stressful, unavoidable Lekki-Ajah stretch is about to enter rehab mode, meaning diversions, lane closure, new route, old frustration. Everything is coming together like one big traffic cocktail. So today on Raise Breakfast, we're asking Lekki-Ajah diversion. Did Lagos pick the worst time? Because honestly, this road touches everybody. Tech bros, brunch girls, dispatch riders, estate residents, gig workers, mall hoppers, you name it. Nobody is escaping this conversation. So settle in, grab your tea, your coffee, or your pure water. And let's dive right into it. My name is Oluchiomink, and I've got my amazing ladies here on the table, Triumph Akimboye and Pamela Onyekolu. Let's meet them. Good morning, girls.
Good morning, Oluchi. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing as well?
I'm doing okay.
Are you sure?
Great.
I love the pink outfit.
Thank you. Pamela has complimented me like maybe 10 times today.
Today,
I think she has a
right?
crush on me.
Yeah, I don't
confess.
throw
It's
out
my favorite color.
She has a crush on me. You love me too much.
But I also give you some compliments.
I don't believe you're Triumph with your black and black. But how many of you guys watched the
the win of the
football
Super
match
Falcons.
yesterday?
I did not watch it, but
Did
where
not
I
watch it,
was,
but I got the updates.
the sounds, the
Sounds of
echoes
victory.
of victory
victory
that I
from
was
people.
hearing. I mean, they literally distracted the whole event that was happening where I was
Yes.
yesterday night. It did not happen once. It did not happen twice. And I was sure that we are in for a good night.
Okay.
Only for me to get that we eventually scored, 4-1
That was very
against
good.
From our
Cameroon.
superstar, Osibe.
Osime has a lot of crushes now. But you know one thing that was really fascinating with the whole story is the fact that I think Peter was saying a few minutes ago that these guys didn't even train as much because of the backlogs and, the contentions they've been having. And suddenly, just with the little time they had to prepare, they came out that victorious. Even though this is a playoff, as they always say, I'm not a football fan as much, but I like to just see us win. You know when you don't follow the story,
Yeah.
but you ask who in Nigeria, we'll just be happy. That's the vibe I'm giving
Yeah.
at this point. So let's see how it goes, and I hope that I think the next match is on Sunday or Wednesday.
Yes, on Sunday or
Just
Wednesday.
Sunday or
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Whenever it happens, we're going to emerge victorious because
And we're going to come back.
you know why we need the victory?
Be happy.
With what is going on in our nation, we need a distraction, something to just make us feel happy.
True. Something that will
If
make
we're
us
not
feel
talking
happy.
diversion, we're talking fuel. We're not talking fuel, we're talking
Inflation.
politics. So let us have some win to make us feel happy, right? We'll take a short break right now, and when we come back, we're diving into the newspapers for today. We have 3 papers to review: The Punch, The Guardian, and The New Telegraph, and you do not want to miss any of the updates. So please stay with us. We'll be right back soon. Welcome back, dearest viewers. It's always a pleasure having you join us for all of our shows, specifically Raise Breakfast. Our phone lines are open. We want you to be part of our conversations, the newspaper review, the hot topic for today, which affects everyone. So please call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it is at Official Upgrade TV. That's the YouTube channel of the year. So if you're not subscribing, I'm wondering what you've been watching all year. Also, you can tune in to Channel 145 on your Go TV and don't miss anything that we have for you. So Triumph will lead us with the newspaper review, starting with The Punch.
All right, starting with the Punch newspaper this morning, I'm going to be taking you through what is making headlines on the front page. And of course, we are going to get into our story of interest from the Punch newspaper. Okay, so let's have it. Now to the first story we have here, the screaming headline. This is as regards the Ibadan convention. PDP delegates arrive amid Saraki's cancellation move. Right after this story, ex-Senate President George, top PDP leaders clash over caretaker committee plan as INEC reviews judgment. This is a story you would find the full details in page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And above that, we see AMCON officials and lawyers face contempt charges for contravention of court orders. For details of this story, please pick the Punch newspaper. So an interesting story you would find in the Punch in page 10. Tinubu shift 15% fuel import duty to the first quarter of 2026. 2026 is not here, but there's so much, on 2026. We have so much. For example, we are going to be talking about something, is going to spill from this year up until 2026. We have the election coming up.
Tax coming up.
There's so much interesting things to look forward to. And below that, we have North Assembly shift WIEX CBT adoption to 2030. I think this is a move to actually make WIEC, a computer-based test. So they are moving it to 2030. And in respect to the genocide interview, don't panic, Piers Morgan tells Togar. And to the last story, airlines reject fresh $11 NIS fee. Now let's get into, this whole NIS story, and then we will also try to talk about the North Assembly move. Now, the airline operators of Nigeria has revealed that the controversial $11 charge set to take effect on December 1 was initiated by the Nigeria Immigration Service, but announced and said to be enforced by the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. Now, this levy is something that we are struggling with, right? According to the airline operators, $11 charge is a whole lot. So if the association are not coming out to complain that this levy that you people are putting on us is already a burden, because there are quite a number of things that we're struggling with in the aviation sector, and you're now putting, further burden on operators. Despite, at the end of these things, these airline operators, it gets down to the passengers, to the people that are on board in this flight. So before you know it, you're hearing that there is an increase in, the charges of to travel, the flight fee and all of that. So when it comes to, for some people that, they fly every time, some people, they don't have a choice because of work, because of one thing or the other. They have to keep flying.
Yes.
Not like me. I have not gotten to that point yet. So I don't want to just, just wave it under my hand that, okay, maybe it is not important. But for some people, this is something that they have to do every time.
Yeah.
So an increase in any levy, an increase in any tax means that they will also be affected, means that they are going to have to face more expensive. I was looking at, I am someone that loves pricing things that I cannot afford yet, that loves checking things that I cannot do yet, manifesting what I want to become. So I was checking, the flight charge of a particular distance from, Nigeria to a particular country.
Tell us, so
of
we know your
interest.
dream country. Why are you hiding this country?
Yes, please don't
And
hide
I
it. Tell
am
us.
looking
We
at
need
this,
to
I'm
know, we
wondering
need to
that,
know.
my interest, my dream will need to remain
You change that
in
dream.
Nigeria.
You stay
We will
local
upgrade
for
it,
now.
we'll leave it. It's just like this North Assembly move to move WIEC to, CBT in 2030. I'm like, we are just going to adjourn this case till another time.
You know what I think about this aviation stuff and whatever is happening with the levy? Remember, I think it was a few months back where we were antagonizing the move of the renovation that was done where they spent billions of naira, remember?
Yes.
Because at that period was also the ASU strike, nursing strike. So we're like, you can pump money into aviation to renovate billions of naira. Why not do the same for these other sectors? Are they not important? But I'm guessing that they are about to get that money back.
They're about to get the money
To
back,
this
and everybody
levy.
will be really affected. And to just quickly touch on the North Assembly move to shift WIEC to CBT in 2030. If you would ask me,
2030.
in
That's
2030,
6 years. That is 6-year goal.
a 6-year goal.
What is it? 6 year? No,
It's
that's
taking
a
us.
5-year
It takes
goal.
us so long to accept things that should be a normal way of life. I mean, that's why whenever we have to talk about, technology and the way we are accepting all these things, I'm like, we are behind. Nobody should come and say that we're embracing something. How are we moving just to have WAEC as CBT. We have been doing this all over for years. Now we are moving into Vision 2030. We're not yet in 2030 and there is so much pressure on 2030 already. Why can't we have these things now? Why haven't we had
But you
it
can't
before
force
in
what is
time
not
past?
available.
What they don't have money for.
You can't
I
force
think
what's
it's a
not
gradual
available.
But they
process.
have money for other things. It's a
It's
gradual,
a gradual
process.
process.
You
Yes.
can't force
Even
what's
the
not available.
jam that we are saying that is CBT, do you know the number of complaints that we are getting every time?
So would you rather have them do something shabby for 2026 just because you want to be
Does that
on
mean
the
that
same
in
trend?
2030 it wouldn't be shabby?
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that if it's going to be like a 5-year plan, they
Ladies,
should put
I
things
think
better.
we have to allow them to, make the final decisions themselves.
All right, Pamela, let's see what you have for the New Telegraph.
Thank you. Here are the stories making the round across New Telegraph, Sanctity of Truth, and the screaming headline reads, Wike versus Naval Officer, insult to officer, insult to nation, General Irabo, says uniform represents state authority. Nobody in Nigeria above rule of law, Wike insists. Senator Carlo calls for caution in appointment of military chiefs. Now, reading below, Nigeria needs value-based communication strategy, federal government. Nigeria, one of the hungriest nations on earth. Wow, that's a very strong statement from Peter B.
Very.
And going further, some people want PDP dead now to resurrect in 2031, Wabara. Reps ask federal government to suspend WAEC's 2026 CBT exam policy. And above the headline reads, World Cup playoffs. Osimhen bags brace as Eagles crush Gabon to stay in ticket hunt. Troops foil abduction of 74 core members in Bonu. Pengasa raises the alarm over neglect oil, gas pensioners, and Trump signs bill to end record-breaking U.S. shutdown. Now, the interesting one on this newspaper for me is the federal government suspending the proposed 15% import tariff on fuel and diesel. I mean, yes, earlier in late October 2025, the President Tinubu approved a policy to impose a 50% import duty on fuel and diesel. And this means that the importers will pay more, right? And that cost would definitely be passed on to the consumers.
Yes.
He said that the reason for the tariff was to make imported fuel more expensive and for these people to support the local refinery capacity, which is the, Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Now, if the government had gone ahead with that 50% import duty, we would definitely have felt it in inflation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Think about the effect it's going to take on the people, on the transport fare, the cost of goods and services. Now, is this suspension a sign that the government listens to public opinions of the masses? Or are they worried that inflation might, get out of control? What do you think?
It's a dicey one because the essence of even, I don't want to speak as one who is selfish because I'm not a private marketer in that sense, so like you can come out to say, but at the end of the day, we want to encourage our local refineries, right? We want to encourage what we're doing as a nation to just even discourage this whole imports that is very prevalent in that sense. So I understand that point of view, and somehow there's a part of me that feels like that tariff is maybe needed. But of course, since there's been a lot of back and forth with Dangote and these private marketers and everything, it's almost like we cannot just rely solely on him. We still need those imported, products and everything. So it's a very dicey one. I can't pick a side to this because if you pick a side, the effect is also there. So Kiki will say the greater evil or the lesser evil at this point, but I think it's just one of our problems. Honestly.
What do you think about the trial?
It's one of our problems in this country because beyond whether they put the tariff or not, the question is we still have to import because we as Nigerians, as a country, the government, they've not been able to sort or solve the problem of making our own local refineries work. So what other choice do we have? What other choice do they have than
we
to
actually
import?
have a choice. We had
They
a
don't
choice
have a
with
choice.
Dangote.
I was
Exactly,
We had a
the
choice
local
with
refinery.
Dangote.
No, see, as a person right from the beginning, right from the old start of Dangote, I knew Dangote could not be the solution to our problems because we have great problems as a country. I am sorry, Dangote cannot be the solution to our problem. It could only help to a percentage. It might not be even to a larger percentage. And even the little percentage he wanted to work, they're not even allowing him to do so. So we just have a problem. I was reading it, I can't remember the day or maybe some weeks back, I was reading it in the news that they are even set to sell off the local refineries that they have. So let's stop talking about import duties or not. They are not ready to do anything. They are not ready to do anything, but they also want to make money. I don't know how it works. That's why it gets me sad when I see that this country that I am in, there is really...
You go to your dream country. But to go to your dream country will cost...
So go to my dream country will cost a lot.
Because of levy.
Okay, closing off on the newspaper. Ultra-processed foods linked to diabetes risk in young adults. You can find this on the newspaper, page 29. And that's it for the newspaper on New Telegraph.
All right, thank you so much, Pamela. Let's move on now to the Guardian newspaper. I think that diabetes story, I know we just brushed it up, but we spoke about it recently, right? It's time to take care of your health. There's a lot of things going on that you cannot afford to be ill, especially with diabetes. The Guardian has interesting stories. The major headline says, Anti-Torture Act at 8. Victims bears scars, endure trauma as law remains on paper. Nigeria supplied 12.6 million barrels to Dangote. This is from NMDPRA. ASU may resume full-blown strike. Oh my God. On November 21st, over selective implementation of PACT. Senate considers bills subjecting military conviction to court review. Below, we also see passengers stranded after train breaks down in Kaduna. Tax burdens on airlines threatens aviation sector, and this is a warning from operators. AU chiefs dismisses genocide claims as Obi task editors on nation building. Confusion, crisis swirl around PDP convention amid conflicting court orders. The last story says, ADC says fresh 1.5 trillion naira loan exposes Tinubu's addiction to reckless debt. That's a very beautiful way to have packaged that story. It says addiction to reckless debt. And let's not even go. There are some certain stories that I have already gotten used to at this point. You know, I've grown a thick skin to it. Like, oh, okay, debt, yeah, move on. ASU strike, yeah, move on. What's the next recent story that we can have fuzz and buzz on? And that's how I feel as regards the debt story, the loans, and everything. But let's talk about this other one that caught my interest very briefly as we wrap up this segment. It said Libya deports 80 Nigerians over illegal stay. No matter how many times I read the stories over and over across all the newspaper, I can't go with tough skin to this because it's the most embarrassing thing that can happen. Guys, what's going on? Libyan authorities have deported 80 Nigerian migrants being held in various detention centers across the country as part of the ongoing effort to curb irregular migration and decongest holding facilities. So, I mean, if you're hearing this news and you have any of your family members that illegally migrated to Libya, it's about time that they are coming back. I mean, Libya?
And check up on them.
I'm not trying to say anything. Let's do things the right way. Let's also do things the right way. I know the government have their role to play. I know desperation, wrong information gets people to do these things without thinking. But sometimes also greed and some uncanny desires causes you to fall prey into all of this. This doesn't make sense.
I'm sure that this year is the year that we had the highest number of deportation
yes,
into this country,
yes,
Nigeria, from different countries. But I'm also thinking that do we even deport people? Because we just accept everything. We just do.
Honestly, I'm not glad that Nigerians are deported.
Casually. You know, when I think about our situation as a country, I'm like, oh no. I really need to go to my dream country. Why? Do you hear them deporting people? If Libya can be deporting 18 Nigerians,
I know we have Libya China's living in Nigeria. Have you heard of such
cases? We're more accommodating, that's why.
We're more accommodating.
Yes. Giant of Africa.
We're more accommodating. We are also trying to just like take, some money. Like, I work with people that are not Nigerians, and I know what immigration do to them and all of that. But sometimes everything ends with drop some money. So what's the point?
My sister, that's
not true. I feel like they treat these people specially.
We have to end this segment now because our hot topic is even going to cause us to speak from a point of a lot of pain. I mean, Lekki-Ajah diversion, if you came across this news yesterday, you definitely had one or two things to say, and we'd love you to bring all your perspective as we begin to uncover the hot topic. So please stay with us. We'll be right back very soon.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back, dearest viewers. So our topic for today has been titled Lekki-Ajah Diversion. The smile on my face dropped because this is a very critical topic to talk about. Did Lagos pick the right time? The Lagos State government has announced that from Saturday, 15th of November 2025, all the way till Wednesday, 15th of July 2026, it will begin an 8-month rehabilitation of the extremely busy Lekki-Ajah corridor. According to the Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiyemi, the goal is to improve road quality and finally ease the relentless traffic on that stretch. The project will happen in 2 phases to reduce major disruption. Phase 1, first toll gate, second toll gate, 7 sections, which one lane open at all times. Then the phase 2 will be the second toll gate, Ajah under bridge, with partial closure and diversion. So now, traffic officers, diversion signs and strengthened alternative routes have been promised, but Lagosians know promises don't always translate into stress-free commuting. So today we're asking, Lekki-Ajah diversion, did Lagos pick the worst time? And this topic is very juicy because this isn't another Lagos construction update. This one touches everybody. Lekki-Ajah is one of the busiest routes in the state. Estates, schools, malls, startups, markets, nightlife, and tech hubs all sit along this corridor. The timing is also very critical. November to July covers festive seasons, elections, school terms, tourism moments, and peak traffic cycles. Lagos traffic is already a full-time job. Adding diversion could turn the area into a pressure cooker. But if done well, this could finally fix a long-standing choke point that affects millions and drives up costs for businesses and residents. It raises the big question, was this strategic? Was it rushed? Are Lagosians being carried along? Will the suffering match the benefit? And this is why young viewers care, because they leave this traffic, they pay for it with time and money, and the outcome could shape everyday life on the island for years. Of course, I would be having this conversation with my co-anchors. Let's get into this conversation. You know, everybody's been talking about the timing. I saw on, you know, the person's status. I don't know. I don't want to call it out here. And the way she
was
lambasted Lagos State government. I feel like, you know, Lagos State government, you don't need this lambasting. Pardon my word at this time. Why? Because for the past few months, I think Lagos State has done incredible things so far. And to wrap up the year with this kind of news updates that would cause Nigerians to be agitated, I don't think it was properly planned. So the question everyone has been asking, do you think this is the right time for a thing like this?
Living in Lagos is already a full-time job. Working in Lagos is already a full-time job. Surviving in the ember season of Lagos, it is more than a full-time job because you are juggling both your full-time job, and then having to face traffic. This diversion coming at this time, I would say that it could have been, although there will really be no perfect time. Let's think about it.
Okay.
There will be no time that Nigerians will not come out to complain that you're about to make us uncomfortable. There is really no time. However, sometimes that doesn't make sense, which is a time like this. Even before the diversion happened, I observed that the moment we got into November, I was seeing traffic in places that there will really not be traffic. This is my first time in Lagos. And then everybody is already telling me that, you see this environment, you will not be able to survive.
I feel for you a lot, Shayo, because
you understand?
You mentioned how many times you came from Kwara to Akure. I'm like, I'm coming
everybody
to
understands my journey.
Don't worry, we'll give you a tutorial
So
on how to
everybody is
survive.
already telling me that this December, this November, just be ready. You know, the IJGB are already telling us that, you know, they are on their way, while some people are around already.
Yes.
There is so much. Some people are asking that Lagosians should even be the ones to vacate for people that this is their only time in Lagos for this period.
Wow.
You know, we have a whole lot of that on ground already. Now imagine where the key areas are going to be blocked. Even when it is not blocked, it feels like there is no area to pass. Like there is no shortcuts to traffic in Lagos. When there is a shutdown, there is a shutdown. We are all going to stay here until it is better. Because there is no way, there is no shortcut. The only shortcut you have is to trek. And how many people are we going to put into this season? Now imagine if this particular Lekki-Ajah, you know, if they're starting from that first toll gate area, somebody like me, I have to commute that route every morning. I don't know if it's like that for you, but it's like that for me. I have to commute to that place every morning. Now imagine that coupled with this season of the festivity and all of that, we are all in for a long thing. But I understand the government. But I think that this timing is really not the best.
Great. You know, just for the laughs of it, when you mentioned that people in Lagos should leave Lagos for
the IJGB.
I just remember this trend on TikTok. I don't know if you know this new Awusa piano.
Yeah.
Someone was saying that all road leads to Kano for Oblate this season.
Lagos,
if you have come up with traffic congestion for us, we're going to
Let's
Kano,
go to Kano
to go and play Kakashi and, you know, enjoy some Hausa piano. But let me get your point.
I would like to add
Surely,
something to what Triumph said. You mentioned there is no right time for this diversion, right?
Yeah.
But how about the Lagos government moving it over to next year, 2026? I mean,
we still have election next week. I said next week, next year.
Yeah.
In fact, this season we still put it under election. I think it will happen like around, election is towards the end of the year. So
Towards
maybe
the
they,
but I mean, it wouldn't be
there
around
was
the
election
peak
is-
season.
There was
Yes.
one news. It wasn't finalized.
It
though.
wasn't finalized.
It wasn't finalized. So I said, now we're still looking at 2026 for the election. See how they just toss us to and fro with information. But let me get your own point, Pamela. What do you think about
this whole thing is about poor planning, right?
Yes.
Because look at the set date and time it was communicated. I mean, there was no like prior, messaging to, telling us we should prepare ahead of what is coming. And then
you have 2 days to prepare. How many days do you need to? You needed a 6-month
at least
notice?
a set time should have been communicated beforehand, telling
But
us,
how will you
warning us.
prepare? Is it your mind that you used to prepare?
But now people are going to be waking up like 2 hours. It's like
We'll still talk about
earlier.
the
People that wake up by
growth of
4:30 would definitely be waking up around 2:30 a.m. to prepare, right? So this whole thing is, poor timing. There's poor coordination, and then are there alternative routes, prepared, for this whole diversion thing? Are there traffic management put in place for this whole thing to
I
take
would read
place?
out some things I saw, like predictions or alternative routes that people can, apply in this period, these very crazy times. But let me even start by opening up what you've already mentioned. This is poor timing. Even though there's never going to be like the best time for it, this time just seems to be worse. And I feel like the chaos that will come out of this, Lagos State government is not ready for it. It was a few months back, we had one terrible, this road that they were repairing. I've forgotten this area. Oh, what's the name of this area? Do you remember this particular road that got
Before
jammed?
Mainland Bridge.
Yes, that people were
can't
in
remember the name of
traffic
that part.
till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It was terrible. Lagosians came out to mention how this has been the worst traffic so far. And now Lekki-Ajah, that seems to be one of the longest routes in that sense. I mean, it's not even just
Busiest
mainland
as
to
attacked.
VI. Lekki-Ajah, longest. Early in the morning when Chinelo comes to work for makeup, she tells us how if you leave your house at a certain time, in the morning, you still face one terrible traffic around that, Jakonde area. Even that's not my area as much, but I hear these stories. I get to walk around this area, so it's bad timing. Even though when you look at it, it looks like a long stretch, 8 months. I'm asking, why make it 8 months? Right. Why not start this after the elections? Because the major peak seasons right now is this December period, November-December period into February elections, at least for now, since they've not told us if the elections is going to be ending of this year. So looking at these peak seasons, couldn't you have moved it? Because it's an essential. It is needed. Whatever you want to do with the road is needed. But if you move it to that time, will anything spoil? I've been asking. If we start this construction from May to October, how many months is that? June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, till the... in fact, there's really no proper timing. But if we start April, will anything spoil? This is going to cause a number of things that you do not want. Do you know what happens during traffic? People's properties get missing and stolen. People, these guys that run around your cars, pick things from. Do you know what happens?
School children as
well.
Residents. People
Let's
that
talk
have
about the
businesses.
health disadvantage. Some people get palpitations, panic attack because they are in a spot for too long. People that are claustrophobic. Have you thought about this? Because it's a big one. November, December in island that the real oblate happens.
The island that leads to the mainland. It doesn't mean that if we are saying island, maybe the only people that are going to experience this are people that live on the island. Now, before we get into, some of the things that people experience during traffic, let me take you back to, when you were trying to explain.
I'm sorry to cut you short, but we need to take a short break right now. When we come back, hold that thought. You take us through what you want to take us through. Ladies and gentlemen, we need your opinion on this topic that we're discussing. So please call us, send a message to our YouTube page, and we'll definitely read it. Stay with us. We'll be right back soon. Welcome back, viewers. We're talking about a topic that really hits everyone. I mean, every single person, the rich, the poor, the common man, the one who uses Legacy-Benz, Mercedes-Benz. Everybody's going to feel what's going to happen from November the 15th into July 2026. And everyone has been asking, why at this time? Why is this Lekki-Ajah diversion happening at this time? Of course, my co-anchors have been helping to open up the conversation, and Triumph was going to say something before I interrupted her. So, my dear Kwara lady that came to Lagos by force, let's have what you want to say.
Anyways, I was talking about the fact that this season, before we get into what people experience, what Nigerians experience. But one thing I love about traffic is that even if a government official, is stuck in traffic, we will all be there together. We will all experience this together.
We will suffer it.
Thank God they're not going to bring a chopper and leave this place. We will be here. At least I've not experienced that. I've not seen that yet. Maybe if it's the president, maybe there might be a chopper. But so far, so good. You know, during traffic, you see different. I mean,
just
it's
had one
good.
comment that made me laugh. He said,
Now-
that's if they're not taking flight.
You know, but thinking about this timing, because I feel like this timing is really not okay. There's a lot. There's a lot. We cannot put the festive season. We cannot just put it away.
Let me even ask you this question. Now that you're talking about timing, I know we've opened up that timing. I want to link it to something you just mentioned. You said you like the fact that everybody is going to feel it, to touch everybody.
Suffer it,
But don't you
yes.
think that there's some people that will feel it the most?
Yes, there's some people that will feel it the most. That is why I'm going back to the fact that the federal government gets really, the way they do things, I don't understand. Which makes me feel like these things sometimes could be politically motivated. Because why this time? Why before the election? So we can do what?
Let's do conspiracy theory
Is
now.
the Lagos
What
So we
government-
can do what?
Let's do conspiracy
Is
theory.
it trying to win award of the, you know,
So that by
best
the
government?
election, who
What's
is
the
going to
motivation
come in?
behind this?
Because we need to think about the motivation behind
Exactly.
this. If not, I feel like there are some things that could have been planned ahead. Was it that it was part of the 2026 goals of the Lagos state government? Or was it that it was in between that they put it that, okay, maybe we might need this? Because why did it not come earlier? Why didn't it end? Like I said, there is no time that Lagos residents, they are not going to complain
Yes.
about this. However, sometimes some things are already key. If this is happening maybe in another state, it will be understood.
Yeah.
But we have to face traffic. Yesterday night, by the time I was going home, it was almost 10 p.m. and there was still traffic. Where are we going to? I don't understand. I mean, I was there for long minutes because that particular place, I'm wondering what's going on. Is this not 10? This is almost 10 or even past 10 yesterday night. Along Costain, what's going on? Now imagine when the whole place is on shutdown. So you cannot tell me that because by the time we are done with it, we don't know if we will eventually have the election in next year. Are you not trying to say that, okay, you want to change the way I view you, that now you have done something amazing?
Let me ask the question now to Pamela. Like you've mentioned, everybody's going to feel it and all. But I want to let us... I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news here or the one that is trying to open up what you already know. But who are those that are going to feel this the most? Because let's even start... Maybe by the time we express our pain so much and, you know, there's one official listening to us, we'll be like, these people have mentioned quite a number of things. Let us retract our steps. Who are the people that are going to feel it? Because I feel, firstly, the people that will feel it the most are commuters. And I mean, even the 9-to-5ers, as we call them.
you.
Do you know what
And I feel
happens?
for them the most.
Do you know what
most.
happens when someone
Going to
wastes
work.
time? I mean, you need to get to somewhere. Something that would have taken you 45 minutes. You're spending
take you
4 hours.
on the
I'll
road.
give you this story. There's this marriage therapist that was saying that, you know, parents should not, you know, transfer aggression on their children when they come back from work. But the person had to tell him that, see, you know it means to spend 5 hours on the road and then I come back, one child has not done what he ought to do. See, we're humans. You would flare up. You would do the unthinkable because you have been subjected to a very unimaginable situation in that sense. Do you understand? So imagine, I can tell you for a fact that in the next 6 months, productivity will drop amongst workers. And this is to every employer out there. If you start seeing the productivity of your workers drop, it's because they are facing a whole lot in traffic. People think this traffic thing is just something to ease over. Just plug your AirPods and be listening to Davido or Burna Boy, watch a movie. It thing has a lot of impact. I've been in traffic for too long and I was having panic attack. Like, I was uncomfortable. I was pinching my body. I was like, when will I get home? It was standstill for 4 hours plus. I've heard of someone that's staying in traffic for 12 hours. And you tell me I'll go to work and I'll be able to type on that system properly? Not
You're going
at all.
to feel mentally drained.
Productivity will drop. And if productivity
Exactly.
drops, you can imagine the outcome. Nobody's going to produce anything meaningful because everyone is supplying this route. Those that are taking public transport, they are ordering Uber. Let's not even talk of the prices that is going to happen.
Inflation.
Uber price, dispatch riders.
Normal boss. Do you know how much
And
it's going to be now?
You know, they
There's
say
going,
that.
there's going to be a hike,
Oluchi,
obviously.
do you know the funny thing that you just said? Like what I wanted to talk about, just exactly in your words, the productivity
Yes.
in traffic. I, for one, in traffic, I can't do anything. I don't know. I'm like, I want to live here. Don't bring work. Like I'm in traffic and you're asking me to put some things on exam. Please, just, it doesn't work for me. I've tried. Even if I try to, you know, do these things, I realize that it's just very few. I'm not able to achieve much what I could have achieved in 4 hours, the 4 hours I use in traffic, what I would have achieved maybe like in 4 hours normally, is something that 4 hours of traffic, maybe I'll be able to achieve just an hour of it. Some people, that's just even productivity with some people. Now imagine 9 to 5 workers, they're sitting down inside on one spot. They've been sitting from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then you're left for them to sit from 5 p.m. to maybe another 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m., only to wake up again by 4 a.m.
You know what I just thought of now?
I don't understand.
Families are going to, I don't want to use the word scatter, but something's going to happen to families, especially to parenting. There are some parents that the only time they get to be with their children is that small
Short amount of
8 to 10
Yeah.
that they get to spend, because, you know, we are looking at children that are not being properly groomed because of absentee parents.
But
at this
Oluchi-
point, they won't even know how their parents look like.
Yeah.
Except maybe in church on Sunday. That is even if they have the strength to go to that church on Sunday after traffic from Monday to Saturday. Do you understand? So I'm like, are we really ready for what's going to happen? Because sometimes you can put up a very pink box, and I call it pink box plan, unveil it. Oh, beautiful. Do you know the impact of this? You're going to say something.
Yes, you haven't, hit on the implication it's going to have on businesses,
Oh,
right?
hit it for
Around the
us.
Lekki-Ajah.
Hit it for us.
Okay, because of just the productivity part, it's going to slow down, how their businesses are going to move, people coming to patronize them and all of that. So it's going to be a lot. When that diversion happens, it's going to be a lot. And the fact that I don't know if the government is actually, of course, I think he prioritized infrastructure over people's well-being.
But the infrastructure is for our well-being too.
It's for well-being, but then, how about us as the...
But have you thought of
Let
people
me
that,
go
have you
help
thought
out
of
with
the
the
hawkers?
businesses. The businesses that you're talking about, they make more money. Traffic
Hawkers
is their
go- they
own
go
time.
ball this
They make
season,
more
oh.
money. But talk about the businesses. I mean, when you talk about all these dispatch riders,
The
you have
mobility.
deliveries. The
Yes.
mobility is really affected. That is when you begin to see people complain about the fact that, oh, I ordered for 10 boxes of cupcakes and my cupcakes is getting to my house, after 5 hours. Or you can't even find the
That even
dispatch rider.
melted, the sun.
dispatch rider already turned and went back to his house.
True.
So we are going to have a whole lot of businesses, being affected by this.
A whole
And
lot.
one thing that I said earlier that I'm going to say again, but with a different thing, is that as much as everybody will at one point or the other be in this traffic, because you might not be able to escape it, while for some people they might have to be in this traffic every day. These people that put these things together without your permission, without asking you maybe like 2 months earlier to be mentally prepared, these people, you would not find them in the traffic every day. You might not even find them in the traffic at all. Or maybe it is just maybe one of their aides that is trying to move that you will find. So it is quite sad.
There is a
that we're
plan.
having to
I'm sorry
do
to
this.
interrupt you, because I want us to cover up a number of factors. There's a plan to get this into 2 phases. So sometimes, or some people have come out to say that probably this is going to like ease it out a bit. I did see this breakdown that makes a lot of sense, and the breakdown helped to show us the red zones, the yellow zones, and the green zones. And I'm going to read it out. Hopefully that it will just, alleviate the tension that we already feel. So for the red zones, that's the highest congestion that is predicted. Lekki Phase 1, that's Admiralty Toll Gates, second toll gate, Chevron Drive Junction, Chevron, VGC-Ajah Bridge, and Ajah Under Bridge. I mean, that's like the red zone of the heat of this initiative. The yellow zones has a medium-high pressure. There'll be increased strain due to diverted traffic in Ikate, Eleganza, Osaka, London. This one said people will try to use inner streets. Streets may deteriorate or choke up very quickly. Orchard Road, LBS Blue Water Route, Ikoyi Lekki Link bridges. The green zones, they're safer but not untouched. You should expect minor delays as people will explore alternatives. Freedom Way, Admiralty Way, Exxon Mobil Road behind Chevron, and Ikota Villa Inner Roads. If any of this makes sense to you, welcome to the club. But the whole point is the phases. I mean, if you check the news as well, it said it was going to happen in 2 phases and all.
2 phases, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that it should help make this a bit better? I'm even trying to let us look at the solution to this, because at the end of the day, even though we know that when the masses are angry about some things, they might choose to change it. But let us even ask, like, this might not even be changed anytime soon. Do you get it? Do you think that we should take advantage of the two phases that you're going to use, or should we look at other options to make life easier for us in the next 8 months?
Now, one thing about traffic is that regardless of whatever phase we are in, the red zone might be at toll gates, and it can be starting from, I'm not so good with Lagos roads now, but it can be starting from maybe, give me an example. Give me the names of this place. Way before Civic Center. For example, if you're coming from CMS now, it might have started from maybe Radisson. And the red zone is toll gates. Do you know what that means? It might even be starting from CMS. Everywhere is already on a shutdown. So whether red zone or no red zone, one thing about this traffic is that it will really affect a lot of people. So what I would just really say is that for some people, there are some places that maybe you might not really need to be. Don't get into those things. If you know that you can...
Are you saying people should suspend good time this period?
Especially when people
and
cannot suspend. People have different
family.
events and
And just
oblay.
staying doors, though.
Somebody
It's
like,
going to be too
somebody
much.
like Olichi told me the plan for our own oblay for our family this season.
My brother.
You can
The way
imagine
it's
if
going
the
right
spot
now.
that they picked is maybe around the Liganza or something like that.
It's not there.
It's not
It's not going to be there.
So just think about all those things. So for some people, you might really need to change it. Maybe you might need to embrace mainland, especially if you're looking for where to oblay, like Oluchi said. You might have to pick another location. But to the 9-to-5ers, and my heart really goes out to them because there are lots of workplaces, businesses, along
Companies, banks,
this
headquarters.
these red zones we are talking about.
Yes.
The number of I couldn't get the figure. But the number of companies,
Have you
organizations,
stayed
they are in
around-
hundreds. They are in hundreds of thousands.
Have you
that
stayed
we have
around
here.
Yaba area to look out for workers going
it
to
like?
Obalende with
In
their
the
shirt
morning.
and their trouser and their laptop bag? A number.
A
So sometimes I
number.
wonder if there are people that work on the mainland.
People work
I've
on the
asked that
mainland.
Work on the
question.
mainland.
Now, when you talk about mainland traffic, you need to get into Ikeja. Ikeja, you're coming from Agege, Ikeja, and all of that. In the morning, there is usually traffic for people that are working on the mainland.
Yes.
So that's usually the spot for the traffic. So I think, but the people that I really don't know what to say is people that they have to work every time. And this will also bring me to talk about organizations. You can be more, lenient
with
in some discharge of duties. Maybe.
to the employee.
I mean, I'm saying this, maybe
Hybrid
even my
options.
bosses
To the
can hear
employees.
wherever they are right
Hybrid
now.
options.
Hybrid options. Please, there are some days, and hybrid options on the days that they have to come to work should not be the days that every other organization will have to come to work. Because this
That's a
hybrid
very
option.
long shot. So will organizations sit together and ask,
I'd say that.
which day are your people
So
coming
I
to
am
work?
just
They should have a
asking
meeting
that,
about
the
it.
hybrid option, maybe we'll go along with. Maybe if you can prepare your mind that, okay, I just have to spend like 3 days in traffic in the week. I will be mentally prepared. Whatever time it is I get on, please bear with me.
My
and
question
all
now
of
will
that.
be to Pamela, because I want to hear her thoughts on this. The Lagos State government has promised that, this will be better organized because, the traffic wardens, the officers in charge will ensure that there is no chaos. Everybody will promise. But if you were to speak to the Lagos State government at this point, and let's imagine that this is going to roll out, it's going to happen, what would be your solution or your advice to them?
My solution would be to set out a clear or realistic time. It would be to set, a clear and realistic timeline, right? So this is what is going to happen. That is how it's going to be. The measures that are going to put in place, the traffic wardens, the routes to ease the stress and whatnot. So these are the things to take into consideration, before this whole diversion thing. And if it were to put in place properly and if the timeline is realistic, then obviously, it's going
Honestly,
to...
if I was going to give any advice, it's not to manage what can cause chaos. It's to think of a way to move this period. We've said, you can say it like 1 million times on the show today, there is no better time because Lagos is ever busy. These roads are ever busy. These people are always going to go to work. But this season, one thing with festive season that people don't even talk about a lot is that crimes occur.
A lot.
Crimes. As people are partying and enjoying, some people are getting killed. Some people are losing their properties, losing their money because people get careless. So now imagine a situation where we do not have a choice but to be in a standstill position, a lot of crimes are going to occur. So are we even going to be safe? What is the safety measure? Are we going to be having ambulances at some point? Me, because I'm very keen on that one.
I can't stay in traffic
Yes.
for too long.
Are we going to be having ambulances? I mean, what's the... Because if you want to put us through this situation, you should be ready. Because it's almost like we'll go through the wilderness to get to the land of milk and honey. Okay, let's say this 8 months is the 8th month of suffering for Lagosians. So that after this 8th month, by August 2026, right, we should not be experiencing any of this. Let's imagine that this is the price we all have to pay. The fact that it's a price that we all have to pay, what is going to be done to ensure that the cost is not so much? Do you understand what I mean by the cost? Because I'm really envisaging a lot of things. Streets are going to be options now. And you know who fly around streets? Children. Children run around.
People with disabilities.
Exactly.
You really can't even know them.
Children run around. Is this even inclusive? Let's not even talk about some places that people who are special, who have special needs pass. Like, there's a lot of things to look at in this matter. And my own... let's say suggestion to the government at this point is if we can move this period, this election period, this Christmas season, right? You know, there was this news that came out that, you know, there's going to be task force for the festive season, task force to ensure that, you know, tourism is better appreciated. It was like a good initiative because everybody understands what this season
in Lekki
is.
needs to be cancelled right now.
Eh?
Any tourism in Lekki needs to be cancelled right now.
Then we're going back. Because the whole essence of this tourism is to boost our economy. Do you know how much was spent last year, December, for all of this tourism, Oble, as we call it? Oble is just the word that is coming out of my mouth. Do you know how much was spent? Do you know how much people benefited? I'm talking private, I'm talking public sector. So you can't close it down. If we have not made so much sales from January to November, I know that last minute miracle, I'm about to make a whole lot. So if you close it down, what are you trying to do at the end of the day? So at this point, this is a very critical time and season. And if the Lagos State government can even pay attention to what the civilians are saying, they will see that this is not a well thought out move at all and look for a better way, you know, to ensure that this benefits everyone. I hope. So my anchors, any last words before we wrap up this session?
Well, infrastructure is progress, quite all right, but the progress shouldn't feel like punishment. Yes, we need that. We know that.
Clock it.
Yes, we know that Lagos needs roads, but Lagosians need to think of thoughtful timing, clear timelines, and, you know, communications that actually respects the reality.
Yes, absolutely. How about you, Triumph?
My final words is Lagos State government, if you led us to this, if we have to do this, I hope you're not going to leave us, you know, abandon us in between. And also, why is it 8 months? Isn't that so long? We want to change the whole Lagos State.
My own is a song for Lagos State government. You don't mean no, say yeah. And that's how we're going to leave it this morning. Remember, the conversations don't end here. Keep thinking, keep questioning, and keep showing up for the issues that shape our world. I'm Oluchi Omenka, and this is Ways Breakfast. Have a purposeful day, hopefully without traffic. Bye. Bye. See you again next week, Mondays to Friday.